Jerry, welcome to the podcast. First time guest. Welcome, dude.
What the fuck's up, Adam? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, my man. Today we are going to reviewing the probably one of the most mixed review movies of 2026, Scream 7, which came out a week ago or something like a week,
about
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, maybe about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was written and directed by the original guy that did the first
Kevin
couple of Scream movies.
Yep.
Which is, I think, was really good to have him back on board. I actually really enjoyed this movie, man. The first one back was Neve Campbell. Obviously, she wasn't in Scream 6, but it's actually good to see her back and doing what she does best.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I came into it really not knowing at all what to expect. I'm a huge fan of the franchise, but I want to say I don't love every single one of them. You know, I definitely have a preference, and we could definitely get into that. But overall, if you ask me, I'm definitely a Scream fan, and I was excited for this, you know, because I know there was a lot of like kind of back and forth with the creation of this film, and didn't know if it was really ever going to come out. And when it did finally come out, exactly what it was going to be. So yeah, I was definitely happy to see it in the theaters.
Yeah, me too. I had very high expectations for this movie. Being the first Scream movie, being my first love for horror at 12 years old, that got me hooked. I even got a Ghostface tattoo. So,
yeah,
being
can
a
we
big
see
fan,
it?
Yeah.
Or is it in a? Oh man, that's so cool. Love it. Very cool.
Yeah, with the Jason, Michael.
Very, very cool.
So big horror fan, not a poser, but yeah, I really had high expectations for this movie. I really enjoyed the storyline, how they focus on Sydney and her family, which I thought was really cool. And it was just more about Sydney than having Gale Weathers and the other guys from 5 and 6 and stuff like that come in to do the whole movie. What I enjoyed about this movie, though, was the opening scene. I thought the opening scene was fucking fantastic, man. Great way to open the movie.
Yeah, I mean, definitely notorious for like their cold open. I mean, when you go see, I mean, I think they invented it almost, you know, thinking about like that first Scream film. I don't know who did it better than that, especially for a horror film. And so it just kind of became, you know, synonymous with the franchise. And I thought this one was definitely good. It felt a little bit more maybe subdued than the other ones as far as like, you know, the star level. Because you're always supposed to be kind of like surprised that, you know, you think it's the main character that you're being introduced to, but then they end up getting killed in the first like 5 minutes. So that was the only thing I thought was a little more subdued in this one. But I think bringing them to the Stewmaker house, which is definitely a real thing. It's in California. You could go there and kind of walk around the house, which I think is super cool that they like it, again, being super like meta, where they're kind of showing you something that really exists, but putting it in a horror film and making it horror. It's so weird. Like they always walk that fine line in these films, and they did again. They found a new interesting way to do it. And I mean, I thought, and I don't think we're spoiling anything because it's like the beginning of the film, but I thought those kills, man, they were pretty vicious, right to start off the film. Yeah. I was like, God damn, that was crazy and totally unexpected.
Yep, I agree. Those I guess robots as Ghostface, they kind of freaked me out because you couldn't tell who was under there at all until the kitchen scene.
Yeah, it exactly.
That made me jump.
I definitely jumped. I went to go see this opening day. I believe I saw it opening day, and it was a packed theater, sold out. So just kind of like feeling that energy of the crowd, especially during this opening scene. You could tell like how tense everyone was, it's like, where's the real Ghostface? Because Ghostface is going to come out at a certain time, because it is the cold open, and to hear everyone screaming and to hear everyone kind of like going crazy, stuff like that, it was super super fun. And again, you jump, if everyone behind you is like, you're just like, shit, like, what am I looking at here?
I kind of laugh.
I feel that.
Lucky when I went and saw it, there was only 4 people, including myself, watching the freaking movie in broad daylight. So,
you went in the afternoon, I'm assuming.
Yep, yeah, it's better because it's less people and stuff. You don't hear people fucking talking, which I kind of did, and it kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, no, that is. I talk about often on my podcast that what I don't go to the theater often, but when I do, it's usually like a really bad experience, because like people are kind of rude now, and they kind of think they're in their own living room and they're chatting away and doing things. Luckily, this was a good experience, and everyone was just locked in and really like into the film. So I definitely felt that vibe, and it was really, I think there was just one showing on that night, and it was like a Friday night, so it was it was going to be packed. And I definitely had reservations, thinking, oh man, here we go, everyone's going to be like talking, not paying attention, I'm not gonna be able to get into like the vibe of this film. But it was a good crowd, and they laughed when they were supposed to laugh, they jumped when they were supposed to jump, so it ends up being like a pretty good experience. For literally probably twice in my life, I had a good theater experience.
Yeah, I agree, man. What are like some of the high points of the movie that you liked?
I would say that there were, it's a mixed bag of things I really loved about the film, and some things I thought they could have did better. So just thinking about some of the things that they did well, is I did like them introducing, obviously, Sydney's daughter, Tatum.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a super interesting direction to go in, and it's not something I thought about before. And I'm like, oh yeah, bringing her daughter in makes total sense. What I was thinking though is they were going to like kind of circulate like this whole story around her specifically, and not really the legacy characters. So I was like a little thrown that way, because you see the coming attractions. I'm like, all right, this is going to be about her daughter and like her friend group and all that. I thought it was going to be basically an introduction to a new cast. So it was like cool, they introduced some new people, but I was kind of hoping that they would maybe lean into that just a little bit more, and build in some new characters for the next one. That's what I was hoping for. But I did like that. I did think some of those kills were some of the best in
Very
probably
creative too.
some of the franchise. Definitely some of the best. They were gory, and to me, the film, it felt fast, it moved. So I think it had like really good pacing, where like there was pretty much something to kind of grab you every few seconds. And maybe there's this like one little dip like right in the middle of the film. I would say probably when Gale Weathers was introduced, I felt like it dropped off a little bit, but then it picks right back up. So definitely a lot of things to like about it. What about you?
Me, I like obviously introducing Sydney's daughter, like what you were saying. I thought that was really cool. Kind of brings back the Halloween 2018 vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
With
sure.
with Judy and her daughter, and like Laurie Strode and all that kind of stuff. Because I kind of feel like it was that type of vibe in that movie. I thought that was great, and introducing the husband Mark, which I thought everybody thought it would have been Patrick Dempsey, but if you look it up, his last name wasn't Evans.
Good point. You're right. I think I read something like that, and I was like, oh yeah, because she was supposed to be married to like a cop, so it was going to be him.
Yeah, Yeah, and I reckon, and this is my prediction, we can get in later on as well, that I reckon if Patrick Dempsey was in this seventh film, sorry, I reckon he could have been the killer.
Man, that would have been some twist. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Would have liked that direction, and I don't want to skip to the end just yet, but I would say that
Yeah,
was maybe like a dip for me as well, was like the reveal, which normally for these films that is like the biggest moment, and it should have been like someone like a Patrick Dempsey, where you're shocked, and like like your jaw drops and you're like, oh my god, who, I can't believe it was that person. But we won't get into that just yet. But
yeah,
I would have
and,
loved if it went in your direction. I would have liked that a lot. And
yeah, yeah, for
maybe
sure.
if it was Chad or Mindy as well, I think I would have liked that.
Yeah, I always thought it might have been Dewey as well from number 5.
Oh yeah.
Because it was kind of sus within like 3 and 4 and stuff like that. Obviously being a victim from the first couple of movies and shit like that. But like I always thought that maybe he was a part of it as well.
I mean, that's what these films do. They kill a major character, but then you're like, they're not really dead, and they kind of come back. So you can never be 100% sure who's still in this world and who isn't. If you just think about like, the Chad character from part 6, I mean, he was stabbed by 2 ghost faces like 50 times, and then
Yeah.
he's just like walking out later. So Mindy, his sister, also was like, had that attack on the subway, like, oh, she's dead, she's gone. But then she was okay. So you never know who is really dead, who's alive. Do I really believe that Stewmaker is dead? I don't know, man. Like,
Well,
I
that
think it's
was
debatable. I think that's very debatable.
yeah. I had this chat with a friend of mine. I'm like, well, how the fuck do you survive from fucking having a TV crush on your head?
I mean, how does anyone survive though?
Exactly.
Any of these attacks, like
Yeah.
literally they could just kind of throw something out there, like, someone came in and helped them or something like that. I mean,
Who knows?
they are great at throwing curveballs and surprises at you in this film. So I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up again. What I was kind of hoping a bit for this film was maybe Billy Loomis showing up again. I was a huge fan, and I was kind of hoping to see him. They kind of leaned into Stu, but I was like, I felt like part 6, there was just so many references to Billy, and he was supposed to be like a spirit, but we don't, obviously she was just imagining it, and it probably wasn't a spirit, so he could have been alive in my head. So I was kind of hoping to see him in this film.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Another part of the movie that I really enjoyed too, that kind of had like a bit of a throwback from the first 3 Scream films.
Oh yeah, definitely. Love some of those angles.
Because I picked them out from certain scenes from the movie, and I'm like, okay, this theater one reminds me of like, I think it was 2 or 3 or what.
Oh
Number
yeah.
2. That scene where Sydney's boyfriend gets shot in the chest when he was like hung
Yes.
up. Then with this one, the chick gets her gut sliced open in the
Yeah, good.
harness.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? I probably didn't even make those connections, and now I'm seeing it now. So that's, those are
Yeah,
good connections, and kind of like a nod to like the originals. That's awesome.
yeah, because that's what I think. That's what the director did, man. Because like obviously, Scream came out 30 years ago. Why not pay a little bit of tribute to the first 3 films that you've done? You know what I mean? And add it to this new film here, but make it a little bit different. What else, the other part, what I liked about this movie as well, was I thought like Gail Weathers' character was really good because she's still that bitchy, snobby, I still want to be your friends type chick. You know what I mean? Especially that scene where she kind of went too far on live TV asking about fucking Sydney's Sydney's family and kids and all that shit like that, just to get Ghostface attention. I'm just like, fuck, that old bitch is back again.
And I think her character is really complicated, because I think after all these films, you really don't know, is she a good person, or is she
Exactly.
not, or is she just kind of like out for herself? And sometimes you're like, no, she's great, she's fantastic. And I felt like maybe this film kind of pushed that along a little bit more towards the end, that, it's like they're like, kind of in this fucked up family together, and they need to stick by each other. But I think given the opportunity, Gail would definitely do something just for Gail. And if it was some sort of advantage for her career, or for some publicity, or for her to somehow, gain something, I still think she would do it. So I think that makes her like a really, really complicated character. And sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't. But I mean, you need that character, right? You
need that one character.
Yeah.
They can't all be like that. We'll just ruin it. But and also like how she mentioned about her injuries from number 6, how she had like nerve damage or something like that. She's taking medications. One of the funniest comments that I saw on Instagram, and I fucking laughed at this. Someone's like, "Oh, she might have to see the doctor if she's got Parkinson's because she kept shaking." And I'm like, "Didn't you watch 6?"
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
sake, dude.
and I'm gonna say it now, and this might be controversial, but I'm gonna say it now. 6 was my favorite. It might sound crazy, but I'm gonna tell you why. So hold on.
Go for it, my friend.
It takes place in New York City, and I think just all the characters were like super gritty. I think all the sets were like really gritty. I think it was a really interesting storyline. I liked how they incorporated all these new characters, and it was bloody, man. It was probably one of the bloodiest ones out of all of them. Now, this one was pretty bloody, but I think 6 has it beat. And what I really like is I like what they did with the ghost face in 6. I like the masks. I like the different masks. And this is like what like these people who are really into these franchises, like, like these mask collectors, cosplayers, things like that. They eat up, like, when they're doing something different with like the ghost face. And I thought that was a really good introduction to keeping basically the same character through 5 other films, but kind of like rejuvenating it a bit and making it like something different to look at, and put a story behind it as well. So I really liked what they did with that, and I definitely liked a lot of the characters from 6. And I'll say it, I kind of wish that somehow they kept Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega to be a part of this one. I think it would have added such a crazy dynamic, even though I thought in the last film, I'm like, their story is done. Maybe we don't need them, but I think it would have added something to 7.
Yeah, I think so. At the end of 6, it kind of opens up to another chapter of that franchise. Because I think both of them were signed to do 3-part movies.
Yeah, it's a shame, because I did like that direction, and you just assume that maybe the Carpenter Sisters would have kind of took over being the ghost faces. That would have been interesting. Definitely an interesting take, and a different direction, and the ability to start a new chapter. I did think they'd start a new chapter in this one by introducing Tatum, because clearly the next one I think would have to include her, would have to be more around her story. Now that she's like older, so and who knows when the next one will actually take place. So I think there's going to be a story there. It's like if you think about like the original Scream, Sydney was in high school. Next one, she's in college. I feel like they could almost do a parallel, with the Tatum character going into 8 if they go through with it, which it sounds like they're filming it. That's what the rumors are, but.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty obvious that it was going to be it was going to go so well in the box office, which is still going strong now, which is kind of crazy. I knew straight away they're going to be doing a number 8. They would have to do it and keep this franchise going. I still think to this day that Scream is still one of the best consistent franchises in horror compared to Halloween and all those type of things. Because with Scream, it all stays with one timeline. I know, like 5, 6, they had a bit of a change with the main character, but like the OGs, like Dewey and Gale, was still a part of that, which was cool. Then with friggin' Halloween, and I love the Halloween movies and stuff like that, but those timelines, man, like it's just all over the shop.
Are you talking about the trilogy that came out like in 2018 and
Yeah,
like how they started like basically I mean it was a little difficult to kind of figure out what was going on, and I don't know if they tied everything together from like say the originals, because
I
like
think they did. Yeah, because
it's thin though. It's a little thin. Yeah.
Because the timelines for Halloween is fucking crazy, because it goes Halloween 1, 2, then it goes H2O Resurrection, then 18 kills and ends, because there's like a big gap, which is really, and then 3 it's on its own, then 4, 5, or 6 is different.
Very, very different. Those are some people's favorites. They're definitely not my favorites, but they're a lot of people's favorites. I do like the core characters in Halloween, and I do like how they kind of show them from when they're younger, and then as they get to middle age. And I think also, Scream did a very good job in that, because I mean, basically this film started like we just said, that they're high school students, and now they're parents, and they have children that are high school student age. So yeah, just weaving that long story together.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. Just thinking like 30 years ago, I mean, I was a kid too, so I thought at that time there wasn't much happening in horror. Definitely there was horror being made, but it wasn't like that level of the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens, the Nightmare on Elm Streets. It's like you almost missed like that golden age. And then like you hear that they're making this film, it's called Scream. You're like, what is this? What's this going to be all about? And I'll tell you right now, I still remember seeing that in the theaters and being just so blown away by essentially seeing something I never saw before or imagined to see, because it felt like that old school horror, but it was so new and fresh. And there's some comedy in there as well. There's moments where you laugh, and it's like, how do you mix that in with so much like brutality? And they did, and I think they kept that throughout the entire franchise. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of dropped off a little bit around 2 and 3. I don't know if maybe just something going on in my life or something like that. I don't know. I kind of missed those when they came out, and I kind of forgot about the Scream franchise. And it's a weird story. You guys could judge me. Don't send me too much hate mail. But I was home one day. I was working from home one day, and I usually keep a TV on the background, just so there's like some noise. And fucking Scream 5 was on, and I didn't see it. I'm like, I knew it came out, but I just didn't watch it, because I was kind of like I was out of the loop with Scream. And I found myself, I kept looking up. I'm like, it's pretty good. And and then I kind of ignored it for a little bit, and I was like, oh man, this is really good. And I'm like, oh no, I'm like, what did I do? I'm like, I think I made a huge mistake in life. So immediately after that, I went back into the catalog, essentially started from the first. I worked my way all the way up to 5 to get caught up, and I honestly I fell in love again with the franchise after I did that, and was super excited for when 6 was coming out, and super excited for like when 7 was coming out. So I mean, if you guys want to call me a poser or whatever, that's fine. I'm gonna be honest with you, I did drop off, but I'll tell you right now, I'm back.
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah. What are some of the low points of the movie that you thought it was just about what the fuck happened here type of thing?
Yeah,
there's so many. There was so many to point out in that movie, especially that ending.
Yeah, I mean, the ending. Yeah, all right. Let's say this, I'll say this like right now. There are a lot of films that I watch and I love, and I watch hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes of it, and I turn it off. And that doesn't change the way I feel about that film. I just don't think they stick the landing, and they do a good job at ending the film. And I think this is another one that falls in that category where you could like the film but not like the ending. And it doesn't change the hour 20 minutes before, it's still there. It's still good. It's like, just don't watch the ending, and forget about it until they do it again and make the ending you want, essentially. But
yeah.
The ending was weak. It was a little contrived. Not what anyone really expected it to be, because I think I said it earlier, is that it has to be a jaw-dropping moment. You have to have one main character that's in the film that essentially is a ghost face. The second ghost face could be a B character, could be a C character, but one of them has to be a main character that we're just like, no, not them. Like, it has to be Dewey. It has to be, it has to be Gale Weathers. It has to be somebody where we just say, I can't fucking believe it. And that didn't have it, and I think that was a little, that was probably the lowest point of the film for me, I think. Yeah, I think that was probably the worst. How about you?
Yeah, the ending for me. Although the second killer, the female chick, I forgot what was her name. I thought she was a perfect fit for that killer as the Ghostface role, because it kind of made sense on why she wanted to do that. And with her story about getting locked up in the mental institution or something like that for killing her husband, and reading the book of Sidney Prescott and all that type of thing. I thought that was cool, but really pissed me off though is like, why the hell the son got killed?
Yeah,
because I thought it would have been a mother and son thing, because it was kind of sus.
Yeah,
those two being horror fanatics and were so into that the whole Sidney Prescott story, especially her son, because I knew straight away that he had to be part of that. It was pretty fucking obvious.
Like too obvious, right? Yeah, it's like too obvious almost. So that's why you start second guessing yourself, because like, this is too obvious.
Yeah, and the scene, which I thought it was just like unnecessary to like shoot her in the head like 50 million times until her jaw dropped, which was a jaw-dropping moment.
That literally like that, like you did there.
yeah. I did that on Brightburn when the car flipped and the guy's jaw broke. Awesome. I'm like, oh, that's a jaw-dropping
moment. That's awesome.
Yeah. They kind of went a little bit too far with that part. There was no need for that in that movie. The only one cool part I liked about that ending, though, it kind of brought back from the first scene in Scream 1 when the boyfriend got tied up.
Yeah, I did like that connection for sure.
I thought that was pretty cool. The part that I didn't make sense is when Mark got stabbed 50 times.
Yeah, it's just what's happening, it's just that was a little strange.
Because like he had a plastic bag over his fucking face, and then he got stabbed. So how the fuck did he survive that? And same with Chad. Chad got slit in the freaking throat or something.
Yeah, it's like, but they live, and that's why, I'll say it again. They could bring back literally any character that they want to bring back. And I was really hoping that they were going to bring back a character here. What did you think about the Stewmaker deepfake AI kind of subplot?
I thought it was smart because that can happen in real life.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there's been cases of that happen in real life of people getting scammed by fake celebrities using AI to donate money to them or some shit, which I think it has happened before. And meeting up with people who aren't real. I think it was a brilliant idea, but I think they kind of revealed it too early in the movie. They could have kept it maybe in the final act, at least, maybe in the last 25 minutes of the movie. To have it early on, 15, 20 minutes into the movie was too early for me. Because I was just like, okay, now they just spoiled the fuck out of this now.
I want him to be alive. I'm going to be honest with you. I really wanted, like, even when they revealed it, I was like, nah, he's going to come back.
Yeah.
He's definitely coming back in this film. At some point, we're going to be like, there he is. He's back. And they didn't. So to me, that was probably the other like biggest disappointment in this film, is that it wasn't like real Stewmaker.
Yeah. But his performance in that movie, he was more of a psychopath in that movie compared to like number one. Because with number one, he was just a fucking psychotic student, right? That was just like had an obsession with Sidney Prescott and shit, and all the shit that was going on. But his character in number 7 was so fucking dark. I wish that was like that in number 1, to be honest.
Yeah, but we have to think he was, like a teenager, and then he went through all this. I mean, it's crazy. It definitely brought him to another level. And again, that's why it's only compounding the disappointment I have that he didn't really live, and he's not the one terrorizing them. And like, I mean, just imagine that. I mean, how scary would that be now? This like unhinged kind of like Stewmaker. I mean, because it was scary until the reveal. Again, you're absolutely right. It's plausible, and it's definitely things that happen all the time in real life. So you're like, oh, all right, I can see that happening. But I just wanted him to be alive.
Yeah. And I thought the second killer, the doctor from the psych ward, it was kind of sus. But then, like, I still think that was a poor choice for him as a killer, because I thought he was the weakest one out of the 3 that were there. Because I knew the coffee shop one was pretty obvious.
Yeah,
the way how that guy looked at Sydney, it was fucking obvious that he was the fucking first killer. But then again, that was too early to kill off a Ghostface killer in the movie, so there'd have to be like another person there, and this one had to be like somebody that was obsessed with the fucking stab movies or something like that. So that kind of put me off a bit.
Yeah,
it was pretty obvious, but
that felt like a write-in. Yeah, it felt like an edit. It felt like maybe a script that they changed kind of numerous times, and they're just like, this isn't working out with, say, the cast we have. We need to adjust it. And it definitely got a little bit messy when it came to like motives and the killers. I think the exciting part is they changed it up again. like, there's always two killers. They had the one killer, but now they have three. So I mean, that to me, I was like, all right, that's kind of cool that like now there could be almost an army of Ghostface people, that band together to go after this group of people. Because you're like, it's going to be two, maybe one, but definitely two, probably, and now it's three. So I thought that was interesting. It's just who the three people were that wasn't interesting.
Well, at least they weren't all related.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely. I mean, I guess that's probably the best connection of that particular group. But I'm gonna say it almost ruined the movie for me. But then after I kind of got home and I digested it. I was just like talking to my wife about it. She saw it with me, and I was like, it was an enjoyable movie. Let me not get hung up on the parts I didn't like and just kind of feel the parts I did like.
Yeah, and what's the other low part that I didn't really enjoy, which I thought it was just dumb? Oh, the scene where fucking when Sidney Prescott was going to fucking go after her daughter, and then Gail stayed behind. But then freaking Sydney couldn't get into the car because she didn't have the keys because it wasn't her car. Why didn't you ask Gail for the car? Let Gail go with you. And then she's just like wandering around, like looking for her daughter.
That was again a weak kind of plot point there. Again, it felt it didn't move, the storyline or add any drama. It just was just dumb. You're right. I agree with you. It was just kind of like a weird choice to do that. And I also didn't, I'm gonna tell you now, it's coming back to me. I really didn't like the introduction of Gale and Mindy and Chad. It felt like too easy, where basically, and this is a trope, obviously it happens in a lot of horror films where like, the killer's running after, the person and they're about to catch him, and then a car comes out of nowhere and like runs them down. They got the killer, but it's like Gail happened to be driving down that block and she happens to be with, Chad and, Mindy from part 6. They graduated college in New York City and moved to Woodsboro to work for Gail Weathers to be her assistant. Like that whole like 2 minutes really kind of like took me out of the film, because I was like, this is kind of just like, I don't know, it's like corny. It's like, it was just dumb. I'm like, they could have introduced those characters better. They could have brought Gail back into the film a lot better than like this kind of like accident, like, like I was there, I don't know, just coincidence. I don't know. It's weird. If you're going to do a coincidence in a film, you got to be able to pull it off really good. And I don't think they did like that.
Do you feel like with the script change and obviously losing your two main characters and getting the OG back, you kind of feel like this was rushed?
I do, and I've been saying that actually. Just talked about this, last night on my podcast. Did like a quick 5-minute review on this, and yeah, I said it. I said it last night. The fact that Kevin Williamson does not direct a lot of films, and he came back to direct this one, that means something. But what Kevin Williams really does is he's a really good writer. So I don't understand why he didn't go into this script and kind of fix up like all those like little issues that we're talking about now, just to be like, all right, look, we need to delay this a little bit because we need to get this right. But yeah, it does feel like someone is like, all right, this is where this character was. They're no longer with us. Let me just like fucking delete that paragraph and just kind of plug it in with something else. It does feel like a little plug and play in some point of this film. And it feels choppy at times and it kind of loses you at times. But, again, when it's hitting, it's definitely hitting. But I think those misses just feel bigger in this film, because I mean, really, like what Scream is perfect. Like, I mean, none of them, but it just feels like this one has like those bigger misses, and maybe it's our fault. Maybe it's our anticipation and expectation, for this to be like the best, to be the best one, or to be better than the last one. I mean, it could be on us, but I do feel like, again, if you have the original director, I mean, it should have been just a little more cleaner, I think.
I think so. If Wes Craven was still alive today, he would have agreed to do Scream 7 with Kevin Williamson and do the film. And I reckon if the stuff that happened with Melissa Barrera didn't happen at all, it would have been a totally different movie from what we saw in theaters. I reckon having Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega in there with Sydney, the daughter, and with Gale and stuff like that, I reckon it will be I reckon it would have been a much better movie if they had to bring all those characters in that movie.
Probably would have been a 5 out of 5 for sure.
Yeah, and probably the way how it might end in a little bit of a better way. But I still think the ending was rushed, man. I felt just by watching that scene, there's no need for like I said, there was no need to shoot that chick in the face like 50 million times, and there was no need for a random fight scene that it's happened so many times in other Scream movies.
Yeah, it's that final girl kind of like 10-15 minutes with the big chase, and it for a couple minutes it's interesting, and then it kind of starts getting boring. You're like, I've seen this before.
I kind of felt like that fight scene with Sydney and the second Ghostface killer. I kind of feel like that was short.
Yeah, it was short, but I'm glad it was short because it wasn't that good.
Yeah,
I don't think, I'm glad it kind of like helped the character arc of Tatum to kind of all of a sudden embrace kind of like, that her inner Cindy Prescott, and kind of become, like that heroine like her mother was. I thought they needed that scene in order to like help that character kind of get to the next level, which is good. And literally at that moment, like the whole theater like fucking stood up, and everyone was like going nuts and applauding and going crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a good moment in the film, but I'm gonna say like probably 99% of the criticism that we're all hearing about this film is because of like that last like basically scene and the reveal, and just that probably the last 20 minutes of the film. Like no one's complaining. Like I haven't heard anyone complain about like the girl that got hung up on like that beer stout thing.
Yeah, we'll get into the kills later on, man. Yeah, I laughed at that scene.
I mean, like not one person complained about that, but what they are complaining about is, just the end. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And, I'll say it again, like I probably have 10 movies in my rotation right now where I just don't watch the ending. I don't need to see it. It was disappointing, but it doesn't mean I don't like the film. It's still a good film.
Yeah. After I finished watching that movie, and I was just thinking about it on the way home, they should have reversed the start and finish, right? Mm-hmm. They should have finished at Stewmaker's house, where it all began. And then, you know what I mean? And be like, oh, this is what happened, to all your friends and blah, blah, blah. And I reckon that opening scene should have been at the end part, because I thought burning down the house, Stewmaker's place, was way too early for that. But then I could understand why they did it, to burn all the evidence and all the other shit and create new ones maybe. But like, I still think that opening scene could have been a great ending scene to end number 7, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that would have been way more epic than the way it did. And I mean, are they gonna rebuild that house? Like, what are they gonna do? Like, it's a huge set. It's a huge part of the, it's iconic.
Scream franchise. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly right.
it's iconic, and it's like, what do you do now? So, I guess it was kind of symbolic. Like, it's like, all right, we're gonna burn it down and kind of start fresh. But I didn't think it was that fresh of a start, So maybe they
Yeah,
should have kept the house. Yeah, or
yeah.
do it.
Well, because well, what I thought of this too, of number 6 with the warehouse, right?
Mm.
They should have started off with the warehouse and made that into a museum, because that was more of like a museum for people who were into the stab movies. You know what I mean? They should have had that as the start of
Love
the.
it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because then that would have been a great opening. Then going into the house where it all started, because I reckon they should have had that house at the end.
Yeah, no, I would like that direction a lot better, and I think also, that was probably one of the coolest sets in Scream 6 was seeing
Yeah,
that theater and seeing all like that paraphernalia from like the killers. And again, it's plausible. People get into that shit. People love serial killers. People love collecting. People love stuff like that. If someone could tell you have a knife that Jeffrey Dahmer used, and people would probably spend $1 million on
yeah,
buying that. And it sounds crazy, but there are a ton of people that would actually do that. So the fact that they kind of like tapped into that and be like, look, this could really happen. Someone could be that obsessed with these crimes that they would spend all their money essentially and create this museum. And I would have liked to see that again, because I did like seeing all the different stuff and the masks and the weapons, stuff like that. I thought that was super cool from part 6.
yeah, definitely. But hey, Kevin, if you're watching this podcast, bro, if you need some ideas for like number 8, Jerry and I can give you some pointers.
Wait, he's coming through on the chat here. Yeah, I think he heard it, and he's acknowledging it. So
Yeah.
oh, wait, he said he fucked up. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
forgive
exactly.
you. We'll forgive
Yeah,
you.
we'll give you like 50% of the profit later on. That'd be sick.
Love it. Yeah.
Let's move into the kills, because I know we're talking about a bit the kills, how they were more brutal than I guess from like the first couple of ones. I know 6 is probably the second brutalest one there, maybe 5. There was no need for Ghostface to have a shotgun, in my opinion. Even Matthew Lillard said it as well. It made it too violent to have Ghostface with a shotgun. That part didn't make no sense.
That was scary as hell, though, because you're
yeah,
like literally, you're like, this Ghostface will do anything, and there are no rules. So that's why that particular scene didn't bother me, because I was like, it was scary, because you're like, what's gonna
happened in
happen?
real life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, what's gonna happen? But I mean, yeah, for this one, I mean, those kills, I mean, they were good. I mean, I would say just the way it was filmed, some of it was just a little dark, a little shadowy, where you couldn't like see like like a blood explosion or anything like that. But I think the intention behind a lot of the kills and the thought behind a lot of the kills was just absolutely crazy. I mean, it was bonkers, some of them.
I thought the theater scene was my favorite one. Because like I was saying to you before earlier, it kind of was like a throwback. I think it was the second one. The second one was the theater one, I think.
Yeah,
from what I remembered, and I just watched it the other week.
Yeah, I probably watched like 15 movies since I saw this, and normally before I would try to accurately quote a film, I would want to at least see it one more time. But I'm with you. You know what? Let's go with number 2. Let's say it's number 2 for now.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like that scene was cool, man, because she was like in the middle of that play when they're doing rehearsing, and then the kid gets killed.
God.
And then you just see Ghostface fucking with her, or they leave her back and forth, and it was just like standing there with a fucking knife.
Like, I mean, terrifying for sure. Imagine you're in that scenario. There's absolutely nothing you could do.
That
and it was just...
that scene freaked me out, because imagine getting tied up like that and then seeing someone with a fucking knife underneath you just slashing you.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Exactly right. You panic, right? Another one of my favorite kills in that movie is the beer tap scene. And I talked to a friend about this one. And he's like, how funny was the beer tap scene? I'm like, dude, I laughed so much that like the people that was next to me was looking at me weird.
I laughed, and I may have applauded a little bit, because I thought that was super unique and something that I never expected to see in a Scream film, because it does tend to track towards like a teen horror. So they always don't go to extremes, I guess, with the kills and the brutality. Yeah. But I mean, that was insane. Like, that was probably it might be the best out of the whole franchise. I mean, it was...
Even Jason didn't come up. Even Jason couldn't come up with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I almost wanted someone to pour a pint and take a sip, but that might have been too graphic. But I was like, this is crazy. And it reminded me of
something. Ghostface.
Yeah. It reminded me of a kill, but I can't remember what it was. At the time when I was watching, I'm like, oh, this is kind of reminding me of something, but now, no, I don't have it. but definitely unique. I never saw anything like that, but I may have saw something similar. And again, it was cool, and it was brutal, and it was unexpected, and I mean, just to hear like the gasps of everyone, like when it happened, and you were laughing, I was applauding. So you know, who invite these nuts to the theater? But I mean, there's always gonna be us there. But I think it was effective, and really it made you think, like, you know, what level is this movie going to go to for the kills? Because again, like, every single one was a little bit more crazier than the last one, and you're just like, wow. I mean, they went all out there. I have no complaints about the kills.
No, not at all. Even the first the opening scene.
Oh yeah,
that her boyfriend deserved that, because he was a prick.
he was a dick, and I would say, I mean, that was brutal, but it was subdued about, from what was about to happen, and when what is the girl, right, that fell from, like, was she on a chandelier or something like that? What was
it? Was on that, and I think her leg was on the balcony.
And
on the top of the stairs.
At first, like, she's gonna fall. That's going to suck. And then they just change the angle slightly, and you see Ghostface turn, holding the knife, and you're just like, no fucking way. It was like, what? Like, what an open.
That was very cool, but that was like the Halloween end open. To me, that was like a Halloween's end moment, when the kid fucking falls down from the top level of the stairs when the guy kicked the door. I actually laughed at that.
Well, Halloween, 100%. I expect. In Scream, I did not expect.
Nah, me either.
So I was shocked.
The only part that really got me in that scene, though, when she fallen the knife, it's like, how is that even possible?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, if you believe that's like that, if you there's a lot of things we have to kind of suspend to believe what's happening in
because that didn't really make sense to me like that. But I still thought that was a really good kill. And
I think maybe,
she was in there.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he probably would have, like, got hurt as well, with just kind of like the velocity of the weight coming down, and it probably would have broke some ribs in his body. But to me, it's like he didn't care. It was worth it to get the kill, and who cares what happens to himself? He just wanted to get that kill, and it was a super, super clever way to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. That was really cool. And like when Ghostface burned the place down, all you can hear is just her screaming and shit in the
Yes.
background. That was horrific.
Brutal, man. Oh, crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like in that whole movie, there's probably like maybe what 3 or 4 good kills in that whole movie.
I don't know how many
Yeah.
there was total. I'm gonna like check this out right now. Since we
Maybe
have
9?
really, you go with 9. Okay.
I reckon
Maybe
9.
I'm gonna say maybe 7. Let's see. What do we got? All right. You're going with 9. We got a little wager going on here. Here it comes. Man, AI, you suck. It's not really. All right, here we go. I got to go with the wiki because that's the only thing that's going to be accurate. Okay, here we go. Going with 9, right? Okay, victims. This is. Why is this not working? It's loading. I'm sorry. This is not good for like live, like a live podcast. I thought it would just like pop like right open. Come on, here we go. Okay. I can't believe it. There were 7. No, there's not even 7. 1, 2.
Ah, that was 10. So Scream 7 had a total of 10 kill counts.
But a lot of them ended up being alive? Wait a minute. This is conflicting information because they're now it's saying 15.
The boyfriend, the girlfriend at the start. Then then it was, who was it? It was Tatum's boyfriend, the friends, the other chick in the bar that got the glass through the neck. Who else? The first Ghostface, the imposter one. Then you got the 2 killers. That's 8. I'm just trying to think who was the other ones.
I think you are right. Who was there? Might have been some off cameras too.
Yeah, so probably.
I think that's where they're going to get that information from. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust this now. But it did get me thinking about the scene in the coffee shop. I thought that was like really effective. Again, kind of like not expected. And I like the way they did it with like kind of using security cameras and like the phone and kind of seeing what is happening through someone else, or maybe not like the perfect kind of framed angle. I think that made it like kind of like super scary. I didn't know if there was like real danger in there because it was, Tatum, and I didn't think that she was going to be a victim in the first film that they introduced her in, but I still think it was very scary, and I really liked the way that they did that.
That was a very Halloween 2018 moment.
You love comparing it to Halloween.
Yeah, seriously, because I kind of feel like when Halloween kind of did that trilogy with 18 ends and kills, I kind of feel like that was like the same thing with Scream 5, 6, and 7.
7, yeah. I think a little less put together though for Scream. I think Halloween kind of packaged it a little bit better. I think the changes in cast and script kind of like threw off what they were trying to do with 5, 6, and 7. So I would almost like say it's like 4, 5, 6, and then 7 maybe. I don't know. It's tough to kind of figure out like where they're going to go. I mean, 7 could be the start of the next 3, maybe, but it probably was supposed to be the third of 5 and 6. I think. Yeah.
what would your predictions for Screen 8 will be?
So this is what I'm hoping for, and I don't. Again, don't anyone quote me here because I'm usually like dead wrong. so so I'm probably wrong here, but I'm hope and my predictions, it's gonna be crazy. So I'm gonna say we're gonna see Tatum go off to college. We're gonna see her friend group, but they're gonna be stalked by a legacy character. And who that character is, again, I'm still kind of hoping that it's a Billy Loomis or a Stewmaker or maybe
Past relatives.
some relative they could pull out. They could do a lot of different things with it, but they have to have one of the killers has to be a main character. And I mean, I don't think. Is there any chance of them bringing back Melissa Barea? I mean, I don't know. Is there? I
Well,
mean, you never know,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Well, Melissa's dad is Billy Loomis, though.
Yeah. I mean, like, is there a chance of bringing her back? I mean, I know there was, some political things going on, but I mean, when it comes to, and to be completely honest, in the film industry, when it comes to money, a lot
Mm,
of things could be forgiven and a lot of things could be forgotten about. So
yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't say it's impossible that one of those characters could come back from 5 or 6.
Yeah. Now that's a good prediction because my prediction would be like they'll just focus on Tatum as
Mhm.
the main character, and maybe I reckon Gail Weathers and Chad and Mindy will get killed off.
Really?
I think so because in number 6 you think that Gail will get killed off, right?
I
When
I
she
thought
got
all
stabbed and
I thought all 3 of them were done. Yeah.
yeah. To be quite honest with you, but I reckon it will be Gail's turn in the
Mm.
next one. I believe.
So, and I'm always confused by horror fans. They're fickle. You don't really know like what they want, what they expect. Everyone kind of went crazy that Sydney wasn't in the last one. Now she's in this one. What happens if Gale Weathers is killed off and not really in the next one? I mean, are people going to be like, okay, her story's told, she's been in all the films, it's time to move on? Or they could be like, I want more Gale
Mm,
Weathers. You never know what these people want. For me, you could absolutely
yeah.
kill her off. Absolutely. We've seen her seven films. I mean, she basically kind of led part 4, so it's like, how much more do we have to see of this one character? I think it is time for a new storyline. So yeah, I would love that if they just wiped all of them out.
Yeah, I still think like Chad needs to go. It's always so many times you can get stabbed multiple times. I'm sorry, but to go back what you were saying about like how horror fans can be like so weird and shit like that, that is true. Because I think because you have your casual horror fans, right, and then you have your real horror fans like us, that someone that can appreciate the movie even if it's bad or not. I think Scream 7 was a good storyline towards the end, obviously. Um, as a long-time Scream fan, I appreciate this movie. I don't really care what anyone says. I don't really read critics because I always think that movie critics aren't really real horror fans, which I think they should have real horror fan critics doing these type of movies and have their own opinion because I know they would give it like a really good rating and stuff like that. But then I'll be like commenting on people's posts asking like why do you think this movie was trash, and they would never give you an answer back because they'll just hate it for no reason. How would you rank this out of all of the 7 movies to finish this off? How would you rank this one? Because I ranked it number 4.
Number 4. So out of 7, this is your 4th favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're not going to believe this. I ranked it as my fourth favorite as
Oh,
well.
did you?
Yeah,
I
so
did.
I actually have the list right in front of me here. So for me, I'll just let you know mine, and then I definitely want to hear yours. So I got
Yeah. Go.
I got the OG right now. I think, just because it's long standing. I know I said 6 is my favorite, but 6 is my favorite right now that I'm watching. I watch it constantly. So it's gonna be OG, 6, 5, 7, 4, 2, and then 3 as my least favorite.
That's a good one though. See, for me, and I've done this before as well. I'm thinking about doing another one since 7 came out. So I put 1, the first one, as number 1, number 2, number 5, number 3. I'll go Scream 2, number 4, Scream 7, number 5, go Scream 3. 6 will be number 6, and the last one, 7, will be the fourth one. Because I thought number 4 was kind of went too comedy-ish with that. Because I kind of felt like they went to that comedy horror vibe type. You know what I mean? Especially that opening scene. Kind of reminds me of a Scary Movie or something.
Yeah, it felt like Scary Movie. Yeah.
Yeah. There was some corny parts in that movie, man.
It was, but I liked the way they kind of rebooted the franchise with it. It was gone for, a minute, and then I thought it was an interesting way to bring it back. A lot of people love Scream 2. I mean, maybe I need to revisit it, because I as of now I don't appreciate that film. I hardly ever watch it, and
I liked it. I thought it was good.
Maybe I need to check it out. That was the one that had Sarah Michelle Gellar in it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Because I like it how in all these movies at the start of the movie they always have actors or actresses that are famous now that they weren't big 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore. You all think that she's going to survive. She doesn't. And her guts fall out in that movie if you watch the 4K version.
Heck yeah. And I was a huge fan of Drew Barrymore. Like, that was like my crush. So I was devastated.
And the second one was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yep.
I think we were saying. Obviously, I think she was probably big during Buffy at that time.
Yeah.
And then the third one, Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah. I mean, at that time, she was, not at the level that she is now, but she was getting there. I mean, she was huge.
Yeah. Number 4. No, I think wasn't number 2 Jada Pinkett Smith, and then number 4 was Sarah Michelle Gellar. I can't remember because I know Liv Schreiber died in number
4.
I get these ones mixed up all the time, man.
Yeah, I'm not like, again, don't anyone quote me on anything. I'm not current, and I hate making calls when I didn't just review it. So I'm gonna go with yes, you're right.
yeah, it's hard to pick, man. It's hard to pick. Yeah. Well, dude, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it. I actually rate this movie an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
If I have to give it a final thought, am I allowed to use halves? Can I use a half?
Yeah, that's right, man.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5 as my final review, which to me is a good movie. It's a movie that I'll watch again. And then maybe after a few times, maybe it moves up to like a 7 or an 8. But I mean, I'm just going off of my first reaction from seeing it in the theater.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get this on 4K when it comes out on DVD and stuff like that. Add it to the collection, man. So
that's awesome. Do you collect a lot of physical media?
I try to, yeah. Because I game a lot on Xbox and stuff, but now they stop renting on Microsoft now, which is kind of shit. Which is, whatever. But yeah, I do buy stuff and I do collect stuff as well. I do have a Ghostface 8-inch doll
Love that.
figurine that's in my living room. And
That's
that
so
next to
cool.
my Art the Clown and Alice Cooper mask and stuff like that, and Captain Spaulding mask too.
Oh, that's so cool. Love it.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, I've got the Captain Spaulding bobblehead as well.
That's awesome. I can't keep any paraphernalia out. My wife doesn't like that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't even have a space. So I don't really collect. I used to collect, back in the day, but now everything kind of lives in my attic, and just occasionally, I'll buy like a steel book or something like that if it's, if it has like a lot of, films that I'm interested in, like, like Friday 13 steel book, Halloween steel book, things like that, just so I don't have to have like massive amounts of media laying around, but I still get like all the films. But I do collect, vinyl. So, I mean, that takes up some space, but for some reason that's okay because it's not horror. I'm glad we connected and we were able to, get together and do this. This was great, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Let's do this more in the future, man, and get our podcasters out there, man, and stuff.
100%.
So we can find you on just Instagram and Spotify. You guys are on YouTube as well?
Yeah. So we just started season 3. We just kicked off season 3. Cool. And what's really uniquely different about season 3 is we're really, really focused on like kind of being video first, which for the first 2 seasons, we were just really on like audio. Spotify and like Apple Music. And we were putting out like basically the audio recordings onto YouTube just to have like another channel. But this year we're really trying to like, elevate it, make it like a YouTube first kind of production. So we're trying to get like, some great guests on, trying to like, dive into like, the most current and biggest films right now. So we're trying really hard. Yeah, you could find us on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook, wherever, Spotify, wherever you get anything. We're the Horrorheads Podcast. It's me and my co-host Rich. And right now we're putting out episodes weekly, which is also something new. We were basically bi-weekly, but man, we fucking love horror too much, dude. So we just had to start pumping out the content because there was just so much to talk about.
Yeah. I feel like with the horror community on social media and everywhere as well, it's a small community, but like, you're sort of like one big weird family. That's how I like to see it. And that, it's underrated, I think. But for the last couple of years, I think horror movies has been so consistent with their releases, but most of the time they're just fucking reboots anyway. So
for sure, man. But yeah, I think we're hitting a second, I wouldn't say golden age, but maybe like a silver age in horror. And I think, just like with all the different production companies out there, A24, whether you like them or not, they're making different horror and they're getting more people to talk about horror, and that's why these films are doing well, because people are talking about them now. So I think it helps, even like a Blumhouse, it helps, whether you love the films they put out or not. I think what they do is you're always going to have movies for those masses, and you're going to have movies for like the hardcore fans. And I think right now we're in that time where anything could come out and you really don't know what is going to do well or what's going to hit with people. So Scream is a good bet, but I mean, there's a lot of like smaller films that I think are going to do well. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. I'd like to do a Evil Dead movie ranking.
Oh, hell yes, man. Hell yes.
So yeah, man, if you want to do that one day, man, we can do that in the near future or something like that. We can rank all the Evil Dead movies. But maybe wait till when Evil Dead Burns come out, then do the rankings, because Evil Dead Rise was fucking amazing.
Yes, I definitely have.
Even the reboot.
Yeah, I have opinions about both of those. So yeah, let's do this again for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for listening and watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. That will mean a lot. I'm only like 10 subscribers away from 200 subscribers, so keep those subscribers coming, and follow Jerry on all social medias as well, and share some love, man. And go and watch Scream 7 if you haven't seen it. but I do apologize for spoiling. So, not my fault you didn't see it anyway. But leave your opinions in the bottom anyway, guys. Until next time, take it easy and see you all soon. Peace.